Yeah, everything.
Can I stop aiming towards the two?
Testicles 1 2. Testicles 1 2.
This guy. Where's my camera?
Are you recording?
Balls 3-4.
Come on, guys.
Hey, we're not recording yet.
It's been recording for 2 minutes, 21 seconds.
It's been going.
I just started.
Move, Lily, move. You gotta move.
Are we gone?
You could. Lily's gonna stab me in the back.
Are we?
Yeah, be careful. Yeah, you might as well just. Let's see what this thing tastes like. Let's see what it tastes like.
I just got a new one.
I can even smell the lemon.
I was an inch.
Remember, careful when you pull it because the thing's light. I'll tell you how.
You don't even have to touch it.
Bring it closer because he always it's really far. Do this,
Like this.
like bring it down, yeah.
Like a little bit. Go ahead. I'll hold it.
Here, I'll do it.
No, I got it. Does it have to be that close?
Right there.
I don't think it has to be that
think
close.
I mean, does it?
No, just you had it really far.
Okay. Because or your voice has to be strong.
Yeah,
You got to
he's really
amplify
quiet.
your voice like
He's really quiet.
right in it.
Oh,
my goodness.
see.
Sorry, I did not mean to do that.
Hold it. Bing.
I just want to bring this. There we go.
I think it sounds good.
Does it? I don't know.
Yeah,
I
we don't
can't.
have
I can hear
headphones.
myself.
We
I
don't
sound
have
great.
headphones, Yeah.
Alright,
Sound good in my head.
testing. Yeah, there's
Yeah, because you only have one.
Everybody's hearing those
headset,
clink.
or
Yeah,
you
'cause
don't
I'm not
really
gonna-
need it
No, I'm not gonna
because
use
you're
it.
monitoring the sound.
Yeah, just to test it, but I could see it right there. But
So what's this
Okay,
new gadget
Okay.
that we got here?
The Rodecaster
Rodecaster
Pro.
Pro
2.
It's
2, the all-in-one podcasting system.
but I know that you're saying it's a podcast, but and then you also introduce it as a mixing board too.
Yeah,
Like you
it's
can
basically
have any input in it, not just vocals, it could be
Instruments.
instruments, everything.
because it could be. It's just an audio interface. So the Focusrite one that I have, it's like just plugging in instruments. Before, I think the first Rode was more for microphones. Now you can actually plug in the 1/4 inch
Okay.
to put, but also there's 2 interfaces, so it's it could connect to 2 different computers separately, so you can kind of route it a certain way. Like if you only want 2 channels to one computer and all of them to another computer, you could customize it like that.
Okay.
And also before I had the computer recording, now I could just take it and just record to a memory card instead.
And so that's where it's going now.
Yeah,
Just
The
straight
process-
To
to the memory card.
oh, that's
The
perfect.
processing, the compressor, the noise gates, all that.
It's already in
it's
it,
already
so you're doing it.
yeah. And since these mics are from Rode, it has pod
The
mic preset.
presets.
That's it. Just click it.
So how does it sound? Let me see your
Yeah.
headphones. Pull me on. Maybe we
Experiments.
shouldn't put it here unless they're letting us. These don't stain. These are plastic.
Oh, I thought I had posters.
Did you?
More coasters. Experiments.
Yeah. Okay.
Seeing how it
What about more
sounds.
coasters?
Oh, why, thank you, young one.
Yeah.
Sounds
No,
good.
it actually does sound good.
Right.
You don't have to. I mean, yes, of course. If you stare at the
Is
mic,
that a
it's gonna come
bullseye
out
you
better.
hit
Oh,
on
yeah.
the first one?
Yeah, yeah.
That's not a bullseye. It looks like it.
Close.
Are-
But you
we're-
do hear
We're
The
going, right?
movements and everything. Yeah,
and that
moving.
Okay.
stuff goes away when you're editing.
Editing, yeah.
Okay.
I mean, I could have it, but I haven't really gone through the effects yet.
Yeah.
So, I've used Adobe Audition with some
Can you
plugins.
check them out, Nina?
I think it's called Isotope RX. It's just a vocal cleaner. So I'll just, I mean, it's kind of these are pretty cheap microphones. So moving it, you'll hear it compared to the Shure SM7B, which is the $400 podcast mic that everyone uses.
But for right now, it works.
Oh,
Yeah.
yeah, for sure.
You get 4 of them for
It sounds
$400 instead of one for $400.
hmm
It sounds good.
Yep.
Mhm.
Sounds good
But-
to me.
Yeah. I mean,
So,
We're on the road.
Yep, we're on the road.
We're on the
Episode
road
What's
with
up,
the roads.
everybody? Start the record. Hi, me here. I'm gonna throw this to
Vic
Vic to do the intro since we're out here in Arizona on the road with the new
Yeah.
toys.
kind of already did the intro, but we're here with the one and only my dad,
Oh yeah, I
DJ
am one of
Vic,
them.
the inspiration for his time out in Arizona. We also have a recurring guest, Gabe. Showed up on our second episode.
Yep,
Mhm.
second time.
Now we're testing out what we were just talking about, the
The
Roadcaster,
Roadcaster.
to
Yeah.
see how it is on the road.
Yeah,
So,
we had to at least have something that you can get out of the room and
Oh,
see if you can actually
for
just chill
sure.
out somewhere and do
Yeah,
this because
instead of just a little studio.
yeah, if this works out, you could do it anywhere. You
Oh,
can,
we've
you
already
know,
been talking about
Yeah,
the
right?
desert. We've been talking
Mhm.
about doing
Yeah,
it
just-
anywhere.
yeah,
It'd be
yeah. I think that's a great idea. I mean, I'm sure that content's going to be a lot more valuable out there if you
Right.
start pushing stuff like
traveling it around
Yeah.
and having fun with
Well,
it. That's
So
the
we
point.
started
having
here
fun with
in hot Arizona.
it. Yeah,
Luckily,
the
it's nighttime
first
because
trip.
I don't know if
If
you
it
could do
was,
this during the day.
Oh,
No,
If it was
man.
daytime, we would be dying.
I think we'd be melted to the seat.
So we showed up.
Inside.
We got here into town. What? 2:30,
1:30,
2 o'clock.
Yeah, because you guys we didn't check in here till 3, right?
Right.
So 2 o'clock we were at Patty's and Marty's, hanging out,
And
playing
it was
some,
about-
pickleball in the middle of the heat.
And about 100 and
I would say 106
106
with
degrees.
the monsoon coming.
Yep,
That was
Yeah,
cool.
this is
but
weird
it
'cause
cooled us down
we
a
were
little
here,
bit.
and
Watch the
I thought
car.
it was just gonna be bright
Yeah.
and sunny the whole time, and it's just been cloudy.
Yeah,
Yeah.
but it's been nice. I think it's
This is
nice.
not
I
bad
think it's
for
cool.
a summer if you're
Right,
living out here.
exactly.
You know what I mean? I'm like,
Right.
It's that sun when that sun hits you. It's like being in a microwave. I
Well, when
think,
we
you
were
know,
out
like
there
that-
playing-
it's like it's burning you from the inside.
We were out there playing pickleball. I couldn't even open my eyes because I
Yeah.
had so much sweat in my
Yeah.
eyes.
No,
Like,
you-
I
I'm
was
all
like-
inside, just like on the air conditioning.
Yeah,
and then
Bub
you
just
guys
stayed
are just
inside with Nova.
puffy, red face,
Oh my
sweat.
God.
That'll be
I was
tomorrow.
drenched
I wanna try
with,
it.
with sweat, pulling all the stuff out and just getting things inside the
Yeah.
house.
That was
That was
Yeah.
a good workout, I could say.
But the reason we're here is because of my sister,
Yeah.
your daughter, Jessica, is
Yeah.
having a baby shower,
here to.
becoming a grandfather.
I know. That's probably one of the.
That was like my number one
Um,
question for today. With that, I thought of was to
Yeah.
ask you how does
How does
that
it
how does it
feel?
feel? And then I mean,
Well,
Just-
I've been waiting for this for even though it seems like I shouldn't be a grandfather, if you might want to say it that way. I don't feel like I'm at that age that like anybody
I
else.
don't think
But I
anybody
had
ever
kids
wants
at
to
a
get
young
at that
age, so-
age.
Yeah.
My kids were young with me,
right,
so
right,
they kind of grew up with me, which is probably why they're the way they are.
right.
Because we were young and we kind of
But then not
evolved
only-
with each other.
Kinda
and
what
we're
we're doing
still
this, kind of.
growing with each other.
Right. Exactly.
We got inspired to do this mainly because were like the main one.
Yeah.
Yeah, pretty
Start
much.
the record was you were the ones that like
Yeah.
invested in all the records that we have.
Mhm.
So I think we've talked about it a lot. I mean, not a lot before, but I think we have talked about it on the podcast before. How we started doing the whole DJing or just music
Yeah.
in general, or
I remember
like he said, the podcast.
you
and
wanted
stuff.
me to start DJing, but I was more drumming, like
Yeah.
hardcore music.
Well,
Yeah.
I could tell you at age 4 or 5, I bought his first drum kit,
Mhm.
and
go.
he didn't care for it as much, but he banged on it enough to know that he'll have some rhythm one day.
One day.
But but
Keyword.
it was like as a kid, myself, I fell in love with the music as a young kid. I drummed as a little kid too. My sister, your tia Leti, her boyfriend at the time, we used to go to a lot of parties, and it was Mexican bands.
Okay.
Back in the days, in the early, well, if I'm around that age, I'm probably around in the 70s. So late 70s, I'm hearing these live bands at these parties we would throw. And her boyfriend at the time, he was like maybe 15, 16, maybe they were young.
Okay. Okay.
Gabe's age.
Right.
Yeah.
He's the drummer of the band. But that's Letty's boyfriend.
Okay.
And so he was like a family friend, and he taught me how to play the drums.
Okay.
So that's
Oh.
how I got into drumming. So then we moved, went to the ranch. I got a drum kit. And I'm in the ranch. I'm not lying to you. I was playing for the avocado trees. I'm on the
Hey,
top of
that's
That's
that
how they're
hill.
growing.
I'm playing by myself You know,
you
the
played-
old Mexican music, because that's all I knew. was
You played
Mexican
to the avocado trees. I think ours was the wall in the
yeah.
room.
Yeah,
Well, at
just
least
the-
you had inspirations.
Oh
and,
yeah,
you know,
exactly. That's
yeah.
what I'm saying. The similarities are just
Just the
just
view
the
was different.
the different place. You know.
My view went a little farther than yours.
Yeah, exactly.
So that was where the drums came into play. Why was drumming so, you know, where did it come into the family, right? Who was
Right.
a drummer? Well, that I did. I just never went into bands.
Right.
I didn't have that
See, I
opportunity.
didn't even remember that you
No,
were into
and
drumming.
See, I
honestly,
never
that-
heard that before.
yeah.
That's
No,
why I'm like,
you
it's
guys
crazy.
don't know this
Yeah.
story because that's how it started with me.
Okay.
So that's how it happens. But I've always
Oh.
so when he was born, I always knew I wanted my first purchase for his drums. I went to go. I even know where I picked it up. Everything. It was in Mira Mesa. It was just a little drum kit for kids.
Okay.
But he's tiny. So it was like he was a little kid,
I
5
think-
years old, if anything.
Did you guys have it in the
I had
one
it
of
at
the
the mobile
apartments?
home park.
Oh, I thought it was
at the mobile
apartment.
homes.
Okay.
My first.
I could have sworn I remembered a
So
small
what
drum
I
kit in an
remember is
apartment.
you had these like black rubber things.
Yeah, see, I thought that was in
Okay,
an
so now
apartment. I
it's
thought that was
kinda
okay. Maybe I'm just
well,
thinking because I
joggy
was young.
something.
I mean, I was
yes,
super
they were
young.
rubber because of course, the mobile home park was. You couldn't. You
Right.
could hear everything.
I think it was. Okay,
So it was the
And it had
over there at
those-
Vista Verde. up
yeah.
on top of the hill.
Okay. Think.
So you were a baby. If anything, you were not.
But
even
I
there.
remember no,
You're
but
not,
no,
like,
but
very
see, but
little.
that's what I'm saying because what he just said the mats
Yeah, you're
on the
probably
drums.
right.
I
guess.
were they red?
Yeah, they're.
Am I remembering wrong? Were they red?
They were like little black. They were rubber
Okay.
mats that you just
Yeah,
cut them
there's-
out.
No,
and
no, no. I
stuff.
mean the
so
actual
you
drum
can
set
actually
itself.
bang on it, but they wouldn't sound like
Yeah.
a drum.
Okay.
So that's what sucked about it.
Yeah.
They did.
Yeah.
So those are just to quiet down, and if you wanted to be that kid that just kept on wanting to hit,
Right.
and they never took off that way.
Okay.
So the drums kind of just sat there, did nothing after a year or two.
Right.
You know what I mean? They were just a cool little gift that he got. And so now we're talking. Now he's growing up. He's going to high school. He's getting into drumming. You know, he's getting into rock, and we slowly get into the drum kit that he had. Got him some. You know, every birthday
Right.
he had new stuff.
Yeah, building.
You
it.
know, and built that drum set.
Right.
But he had to learn this stuff on his own. So, you know, put the headphones on and just go in the room. And luckily, we had room to do that.
Yep.
You know, and his friends that were in band, I was like, just come over here because that was like the house to do it in. If anybody's gonna do
Ma-
it, it's in this house.
Imagine Gabe like just this kind of heat, but in the garage, no
Yep.
fan. Like
Oh,
we're trying to get the fan
God.
blowing in, and we're just oh,
They're your
one
age,
song,
you know.
yeah.
They're
Around-
they're
on your
they're
age.
around your age, and his little Georgie's over here with his guitar, and his other buddy with his bass guitar, and
Yeah.
he's banging the drums, and it's this
Cramped in the
3V, you
corner,
know.
and
And then there was a few times where I sat there with a camera.
yeah.
I
wonder if we
Do
have
you have
it.
any videos or anything?
I'm
You might
sure
have it
they're there
It's
somewhere.
See, that's the
And then
thing.
I've
the
always
somewhere.
tried to look for your guys' cover of Note to
From-
Self on
yeah,
YouTube.
I keep trying to
always
find it
try to
too.
find that one. That
Really?
was one old one of him and Georgie.
I remember it was like
And,
how
I
8,
mean,
9, or no,
oh,
even longer
it
than that.
was
But
so
it had
long
thousands
ago.
of views on it.
I mean, it's
Really?
lost
I don't
on
know where
YouTube
it
at this
went.
point.
Yeah.
But
It's
I
got to
mean,
be out there somewhere. Huh?
Yeah.
Your dad's the one that uploaded it to his channel.
Yeah.
So I don't know.
He
So
might have
somehow
it.
he can get it.
Yeah.
I
He
don't,
has
keep, I
something.
don't keep up with that channel because I don't know about it.
You know, yeah, like, it's a whole other thing.
It's a whole different thing.
But yeah, it's
So, you know, that's kind of going back to where he started drumming and then the music. And, you know, so one day, you know, I've always had DJ systems. So, okay, if you guys want to hear his short summary of how it all goes.
Yeah.
You know, so the music kind of was always in my blood. I loved it. Didn't have the funds or anything to buy guitars or drums. Everything was kind of hand-me-downs from other people or whatever. And it was mostly the drums. But then I was in 7th grade, 6th, 7th grade, and I went to a picnic with my mom for her company party. And it was just outside, and they were and one of the guys was playing music. It was a DJ. He had turntables, and he was mixing music, you know, playing music for everybody. And then, you know, I went to, all I did was just sit there like a little kid, you know, just imagine Lily just sitting there watching that person play. And I'm just like, I want to play this, you know, I what is he doing?
Right.
Wait,
So I'm
Gabe,
more interested. And that's
did-
my friend, a good friend. His name is George Tostalo. And George Tostalo, and you remember him. You worked with
I
him.
worked with him.
Well,
Wait, at the avocado,
avocado.
place.
See,
But
that
he
was
would
even before.
That's funny because we would act when we're working. He would go on a break and like, hey, come in here, and he was like, he had his turntables in the break room, like, let's
Yeah.
mix a little bit.
He's a diehard. See, that's a guy we should bring in because
Yeah,
he's
for
got a
sure.
ton of history of that town.
Yeah.
Okay.
He's probably the most well-known DJs as far as sound systems,
Mhm.
different types of
Yeah, he had a
gigs.
sound system set up in the warehouse over the
That's awesome.
We used
machine
to,
rack.
okay,
It's
so
weird.
I have many DJ stories with him. We've done big parties, small parties, to dual DJ. You know, it was, what you
Yeah.
guys see in the TV was maybe a glimpse of a dream back in the early 90s.
Yeah.
89 is when 88, 89 is when I started.
By the way, we're watching the live stream of
Oh, yeah.
Tomorrowland. The people DJing.
We're watching guys dancing, pushing buttons.
Yeah. Sending us a- yeah.
And their dancing ain't that great either.
But
You
yeah,
need some
so-
break dancers.
Yeah,
and
right.
If anything, hit the button,
Throw
and
it
do a
back.
backspin or something.
Yeah. But
You
yeah,
know?
so
But going back to meeting him, getting to know him, he was telling me, what he was doing, and I'm just a kid. And then eventually, I asked my mom, I want to get some turntables, and he was telling him, I'm selling these, and it was the turntables that they were Techniques, but they were
were they belt drive?
They were belt drives.
The
and
ones that I have.
mm,
The
okay,
big
so
square boxy
let me
looking
even
ones?
go farther
Okay,
than that.
Okay.
There were a Technique 100. One of them was a Technique 100 and a Technique 500.
Okay.
The 500 at least was. She's here.
Yeah.
Let's take a pause.
Well,
Let's
Hey, we'll be right
pause
back.
it
We'll see you
real
back.
fast.
Where's
Oh.
Yeah, it's pretty cool. You can just press pause and then just continue.
So that is the red is record.
Yeah. Press it, yellow, pause,
Down.
hold it down, it'll just stop the whole
Stop
thing.
the whole
so.
recording.
Oh,
That'll
but
be
yours-
the set.
I think yours should be good.
What, mine
Yeah.
here?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Audio check.
Yeah, it should be okay.
Yeah, you're good.
Yeah. So we were at well, you took a turn into what I felt with Jess, right?
Yeah.
That was kind of like being a grandpa.
Grandfather. Grandpa, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, geez, well, Gabe knows. I kind of treat him as like a grandchild, regardless on how he may not. That's
I was
my
gonna bring that
thing.
up too.
I treat
Yeah.
Jimmy the same way.
Exactly.
Gimme.
Like my GB. He's like my other son. So I think everybody here in this group has been mentored or disciplined or,
I think so.
Yep.
or by me.
Yeah.
So I think that's always that I've kind of had that father figure for a lot of people.
Right.
And grandfather, I think, is the next step. So with Lily, Gabe, I think I'm not trying to say I am because I'm not. But it gives me like a it's a practice thing.
Right.
You know, with
Yeah,
these
for sure.
kids, they know how I love them and I care for them and I'm there for them.
Right.
So now to have my own blood in it, even more than they are,
Right.
is going to be. I'm just so excited about it to see both of them growing up with two grandchildren.
Right.
It's going to be. I don't know. Just I'm excited about it, just to see what they're going to look like.
Right.
You know.
It's gonna look more like Dylan or like Jess.
Yeah, or their personalities, because every kid is different. There's no, I mean, from Gabe, from he was little, from you
Right.
when you were little, everybody's has a different personality. So just
Yeah.
it's that wonder,
What
but
they're
my
gonna be
feeling
like.
of caring, I can't say it's more or less than what I've done for you guys. I can't because I think I treat you guys like if you were my own.
No,
So
yeah, for sure.
I think I think it will be a little. Hey, Nino, you're spoiling her more than me. Yeah, I am.
Well, of
So
course.
deal with it. So
But that's why, like,
know
I
what I
mean, well,
mean?
I guess because,
I'm not gonna say
I was gonna say, he's a teenager. I'm a little older. To me, it's like, I mean, of course you're gonna spoil this kid. This kid,
well, I
is
think
gonna be
well,
your
I think it's
grandchild. Like,
it's
this
one of
is
those
your-
things that
like,
why
reading-
not?
Like, yeah, oh yeah, for sure. And I think that was something that everybody said in the family as soon as they found out that you were gonna
Yeah.
be grandpa. I was like, oh, that baby's gonna be
Yeah, I think that's
freaking,
the
like so
the
spoiled.
things that
like,
I want.
gonna get everything. Like,
Yeah,
and it's
I
gonna
mean,
have all the love.
Honestly,
all the
I
love.
think more than anything,
I'm gonna be an uncle.
You're gonna be an uncle.
Yeah. So
And
Yeah.
I think the biggest thought in my mind is I'm not changing how I treat
Right.
the other kids, right? So
Yeah.
that's I'm her. I want her to be, cared for, loved, taken care of,
Right.
and that's the big thing for me, that she's safe and healthy,
Yeah.
of course, like more than anything. But I think the fun part will be to just what I can, if I could continue doing what I've done for my kids, even though I wasn't a person that had a lot of means, I still was able to give.
mhm.
What I do with what I have, I give. I
Right.
don't keep it to myself. None of it. Everything I have is for the people around me.
Right.
I didn't do these little things for me. It's maybe I like how it looks or whatever, but it's for the other people to enjoy.
Yeah.
And I think that's how my personality is. I like people to
You
enjoy
like
what I have,
seeing people experience.
experience it, and you know what? It makes me happy to
Yeah.
see that what goes on in the background.
Yeah.
See, I feel like I have that same personality as you, but then my mom makes it seem like it's such a bad thing. Like, why are you always trying to please other people? I'm not trying to please other people. I'm making
just a
myself
nice
happy too.
feeling,
I just
yeah.
like to make other people happy.
Yeah.
Like, it's just,
That's
it's
who
a
we are.
part of my nature. Like,
And,
it's
and
just,
maybe you've seen something like that. Maybe
that's what I mean.
Maybe
Like,
I mean, reality is when you would come and visit, you were in our place.
Yeah, exactly.
You were with us. You were my other.
right, and
you
that's
were
what
my
I'm
other
saying.
third
And it's just,
child, so I
yeah.
did have other boy.
I feel like I
That's how
kind
it
of
was.
learned
Yeah,
from you
yeah,
that
for
way
sure.
because I'm like, I make sure that everyone else is enjoying themselves rather than like I gotta.
That's
make
how
sure
I need to
see,
be
and
fun.
that's
No,
my
I
yeah.
gotta
See,
rather-
no, that's
once
my
I see them, it
personality
makes
too.
me
That's so
happy.
Yeah.
funny. Then that's something we all have alike.
When
Yeah.
you
that
do
I
a
would've never
gig,
known.
if you see that one person,
Yeah.
how many times go watch that one person? If you can keep them making a move,
Right.
that's your beat.
Yeah.
That's your rhythm.
Yeah.
You concentrate on the ones that they're not haven't done anything. They have a couple of drinks, but then you start moving their hip a little bit.
Yeah.
Okay,
They finally-
you got them. You got
Yeah,
one of them.
exactly.
That's gonna be a chain reaction, so
Yeah.
you can always hit everybody else.
Yeah.
And then eventually it's gonna be the crowd.
Yeah.
It's like,
Yeah.
oh, you got you. You
Yeah.
got me.
Yeah.
You got me moving.
Yeah.
That's funny.
And that's the idea. You're. I think maybe that was the catering part of it. DJing as a young kid. I mean, honestly, goes back to that too.
Yeah.
Being able to entertain people with not having your own music. It's not mine.
Yeah.
Right.
It's other people's music.
Yeah.
It's not that I was.
As long as everyone else
Anything
enjoyed
different
how
than-
you presented
Yeah.
their
Yeah,
music.
for sure.
And back in the days, it's it was a little different than it is today, but it's still the showmanship. Whoever could prove and entertain, or
Yeah.
I don't think I did any of this. I did a little, you could dance and whatever, but it was more of what music you had and combining
Right.
it to make people get out.
Right.
You had to go purchase it. You had to go listen to it.
Yeah.
Mhm.
It's not like how we. All right. Let's
Yeah.
go on title.
Yeah, and find anything.
Combine it
we
with
want.
Oh, I love this
Serato, and then
technology
just
because
like-
you
It's
guys all
easy.
know me.
I
It makes
remember
it
we were
easier.
talking when I was little. We
Yeah.
were just like, imagine if you were able to stream music to your turntables,
Yeah.
and then 10 years later,
Yep. There
They're
you
doing
are.
it.
We have maybe the idea was there,
but we
Yeah.
but how do we get that to?
It's
to-
just in
to-
our head.
to
We didn't think it's
reality,
actually gonna
you know,
happen.
and people
Yeah.
just have to, they did it.
yeah,
It was we're taking advantage of it now. You know what I mean? It's taking advantage of the technology, the music, the entertaining of
so
it
funny.
because it's so broad now that I don't think you can hear.
Well-
You can't hear all the music that's out there anymore. It's
Right.
too much.
Yeah, for sure.
Before you just had a selection.
Yeah.
And maybe thousands and thousands of songs, but now we're talking millions and maybe more than that.
and which I think is good because
millions.
now you get exposure to kind of underground artists, like for like Spotify. I
Mhm.
got this Discover Weekly. I think it's like every Friday. Then I go check it. I'll just listen to it. I don't know. I don't even look at who's the artist or whatever. I like it, and then those are the people I start listening to. But they're not big. They got
Yeah,
maybe.
yeah.
I mean, like you can see their stats on Spotify. Like, oh, they got 20,000 monthly listeners. But then compared to like the bigger artists like Drake and all them, who has millions of monthly listeners,
Yeah.
you're like, okay, these are actually cool people. Now you're getting the access to listen to
That's
the
the
indie.
your mediums are so broad now. I
Yeah.
mean that you can actually put this out there and maybe somebody's going to be entertained by what we're saying,
Exactly.
right? And hopefully experience what we're maybe experienced today. You know,
Right.
some others people might they're just rambling on about their own lives, right? But I think people get entertained by that because
Yeah.
I do. I like listening to other people's
It
lives.
kind of
People
It
can relate.
inspires me.
It
I
might not
think all
be
my
everybody,
life.
but people can relate. Someone's gonna
Yeah.
relate to
And
whatever you're
I
saying.
think-
Whoa!
yeah, there was a lightning right there.
For those who
But I
didn't know,
think,
no, I'm just
you know,
kidding.
Wiped out the memory.
Yeah, for those
Early
who didn't know,
2000s, you were listening to Howard Stern, like
Yeah.
kind of podcasting. Well,
Yeah.
I mean, I know he doesn't like calling it podcasting, but his
Well,
radio show.
I think
but
he's now a little
his-
bit more of a. If I still listen to him, I've been listening to him since
He's
the '90s.
got a good
He's
show.
Yeah.
the reason for it, it's the way the way he presents the topic, the comedy, the seriousness, the yes, people know him as being this outrageous disc jockey. He was ruthless. He did what he had to do to
Yeah.
to get there and get noticed, which is what
Yeah.
people do to create content. What don't you know about a person that is new, up and coming? They have to do something that catches you, right? So
yeah,
he did that back then. But now, you know, he learned as you grow, we all will learn how to do
Yeah.
he made that a career. Maybe this is not our career, but he fine tuned it to entertain us more,
yeah.
right? Become more. So I kind of go. I've been a Howard Stern fan forever, and I'm entertained by it because of his comedy, and it's dirty comedy. That's my
Yeah.
humor. I don't care what it is. My humor is.
That's what it is.
I love
what it
dirty
is.
humor.
I think that's probably-
It is
joke-
what
I
it
think
is.
that's why
I'm the
it's-
same way. It is
You know,
what it
and
is.
it's not
have-
always that way. There's the serious
lot of
stuff.
people
There's just
don't.
the crank
just those
calls,
random-
Yeah,
random.
it's
It doesn't
gotta
really
be
matter.
that way,
Okay,
though.
You
so
can't be
most of the
offended
time
by
you turn
it.
on. Most of the time you turn on that channel, it's something dirty.
Yeah.
I feel like it's
That's
yeah.
just the way it is, and it's
Yeah.
okay,
But
if
that's
you
what I'm saying,
listen
I
to
feel
the
like it's
whole
more natural.
content,
It's
it's
more-
not that whole thing.
Gabe, do you know who Howard Stern is?
No,
No?
see,
No, see,
I mean,
that's what I mean. But
But if people say don't listen because he's dirty, no,
Yeah.
he can. He's pretty just straight.
see,
Yeah.
and that's what we were just saying. We were talking about somebody. But anyway, like just being straight up. If you can be straight up
Mhm.
and you talk and you're just being yourself and you're talking the way you want to,
And not
Nobody's
being
gonna-
No one's
offended
gonna
by
care, and it's
everything.
entertaining.
Just like
Yeah.
learn how to take a joke. I think that's
don't
probably
know
why
if you-
I'm able to have
or you
such
might
kind
know.
of comedy because I was kind of young when you were listening to Howard Stern
Yes.
and Dave Chappelle, and I'm
Yes.
like an early preteen watching that. It's just like it's just jokes.
Yes.
I know
If you
now
take it serious,
you're gonna
get offended.
Yeah, exactly. See,
If
and-
you open your mind to it,
yeah,
you're not gonna.
Yeah.
right.
You're not gonna care.
It's all-
It's gonna be. It just goes, and that's what I think the world needs
Yeah.
is the open mind of stupidness.
See,
That's what's
Perfect.
wrong with our generation because our generation can't take a
Take a
joke
joke?
Yeah.
for
Yeah.
one bit. If they do, they just go on Twitter. It's like, all right, we need to cancel this
Very,
guy.
very
Twitter
uh,
fingers.
judgmental. They're locked into their thoughts, which is the world is. That's the way it is right now. But I think if you kind of open up to the reality of life, and you can joke about it a little bit more
oh yeah,
about both
You're-
ridiculous
you get
things
less
that are
stress
out there.
about
it. Yeah.
It's a lot more fun than taking it serious.
So I don't
Well,
know if you know. I'm pretty sure you know because it's more. I mean, maybe not your demographic, but I mean it's in sports, and you're a sports guy. But there's a sports caster out there, but he started on YouTube, and then he ended up going to Barstool, and then he ended up on. I don't know where he's at now, like on YouTube. I'm sure I mean,
Yeah.
it's on YouTube pretty much. But anyway, he's got all these big sponsorships. He was a punter in the NFL, Pat McAfee, and you don't know that guy? Oh man, I thought you knew. But he's the same thing. He's kind of like how you were explaining Howard Stern. Like he's got that gritty,
humor.
yeah,
Or, yeah.
comedic. Like, and they just say it
Say
like
whatever,
it is,
yeah.
and it's but it's the sports casting. But he's the same. But people love it because it's the same thing that you said. It's raw. It's
Yeah.
like that. People are more drawn to the realness that they have into
So,
their show.
I think there's more people out there that want that. Let it
Right,
out. We
yeah.
don't
Honestly,
care,
it's like
and
the
we're not
1%
judging.
of people
Yeah.
are the
Yeah.
ones complaining, and then there's the rest of us just like, that's fine.
That's
yeah,
boring.
exactly.
I don't
and it's
care.
just funny because
Okay,
they're so
but like
similar in
you're
that.
like you're saying your generation, I know how in your perspective, how do you feel like if you see something just in general, like comedians or whatever?
Like as
you-
long as it's funny, I will sit down and watch it if it's funny.
Yeah,
because
as long as it's
that's the
funny.
stuff I want to watch. If it's funny, I'm gonna end up watching it for hours and hours and hours.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because that's my humor.
But you don't get offended, huh? Or do you?
With
Does
what?
some-
just like just things make you uncomfortable that you see. Like
no.
Not really.
yeah, nothing.
Yeah.
You don't take things as serious as a
I'm
lot
not
of
like
people.
those blue hair girls on Twitter. No.
Yeah,
Not trying to offend anybody.
I don't know what. I only know the Blue Man Group at
Yeah.
Vegas, so I don't know what the blue hair girls are.
I don't know.
Yeah,
you
but
know,
We don't know them.
Yeah.
But with like Howard Stern and then even like Joe Rogan being the
Yeah.
biggest podcast,
Yeah. See,
and
same thing. But he says
there's
another
people
guy
could
says it
clip
like
out
it is.
certain things to be offended by, and then it kind of reaches everyone, and
Yeah.
but you don't get the full context. I think everything's about context.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You don't know the full context, you're gonna
Don't judge it by the first switch of the knob.
yeah.
Or the
Oh, I
headline.
just jumped. That's ridiculous.
Or a headline.
The
Don't
headline
jump-
of the article.
Oh yeah,
never trust the
headlining. Oh my
headline.
god, yeah.
Yeah.
That's the worst part.
Yeah,
It's those
exactly.
one-liners
Yep.
changes everybody's mind.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
it's crazy.
Speaking of being offended,
There
Ah.
she's the first. She's the top
Got
dog.
him.
she's the one that's my mom's
Uh,
walking
it's
in.
classic.
I'm just kidding. Yeah.
Yeah, come on in, mom.
on,
Say hello.
Oh, she's camera
Oh,
shy.
now
guys.
she's gonna walk
camera
back
shy.
inside. We're gonna commentate her
Huh?
step. Left foot, right foot.
Oh,
No,
yeah.
I'm just-
Yeah,
Doors
so-
closing
Hey,
now.
babe, can you grab me one of? I don't know, one of
in the
those.
fridge.
Can you bring 2 more, please? And then you can say hi.
It's in
To
the
the
Why?
podcast.
It's in the garage. They can. I mean,
I'll grab it when I need it.
The power of editing.
yeah. I mean, well, who needs it? It's just
Yeah,
you,
it's
right?
just me,
Yeah, it's just
What you need it?
Yeah, I let them
You-
take
I'd-
it. But I didn't know it was a
you
big
sleep out
airliner.
here.
I would have taken. Yeah, seriously. Throw it in the water. I'll sleep in the water.
Imagine floating in there.
I was thinking
Huh.
when you finish your pool,
Oh.
you know, we got that little mini dip pool.
Oh,
That's like for adults, but you put it into the pool, so there's a pool inside your pool.
Nice.
I
yeah.
think that's a sinking ship, is what I'm saying.
gosh.
It's
I
gonna
can't-
get full.
Why are you
and
hiding?
I'll
Everybody's
blur-
gonna go
I'll
down.
put a pixelated
A
thing on
version.
you.
An 8-bit version of the.
but going back with like the whole getting into the DJing, I know with you, Gabe, you kind of got into it like
And then I just
Was it-
stopped suddenly.
yeah, stop suddenly, but was it like all of us together
Yeah, I
that
was
was
gonna say
DJing that
it's-
kind of got you
What
into it
was
when
it?
you were actually starting to DJ, or
It
was
was
just-
like seeing these, like when I first got Instagram, I just saw like these random like DJ artists on Instagram. I was like, oh, this is cool. I'm gonna just look at
Yeah.
it on Instagram, like, you know, like look at it daily. And then I started getting into it with like music. Okay, I want to
Yeah.
do this with like this kind of music, this kind of music. So
and you're
that's
like,
how I started. And then I just suddenly stopped because I think it was before high school when I stopped because I was like getting into a new world of things. So that's why I stopped.
like football,
No,
Not-
not
not
even that.
that,
I think it's just high school.
just
Right.
high school, yeah.
I think 7th and 8th grade is a different. It's a big time in everybody's life in middle school.
During that time, I was like, I think I was daily live streaming my.
Your little mixing,
DJing,
yeah. Because
yeah.
I remember he would get into that, like the mixing, you
Yeah,
know,
I remember.
and his little playlist and doing his thing. You know, he was into it. But then the phasing of,
High
there's
s-
some
like
of
the
us that will just continue it on.
Yeah,
And I don't know if that was what you were thinking at, like, hey, I'm switching to a different school. Different thing. What
honestly-
do I have to do? What disappears? Right? It's probably still in you, and you just
Yeah,
haven't
you
let
that's
it back
eventually
out.
could find.
If there's one thing I want to do the most right now, it's probably going back into that and try to get a big, like not a big following, but like a decent following to know like who's
So you're doing it for a following, or are you doing it because you like it?
both.
See,
See,
that's
like,
where you have to change the mentality. I think
so here,
the
like
following
with,
comes with you if you love it.
yeah, like this whole thing, I honestly don't care if anyone's listening. We're doing it just for the hell of it.
So the
You know,
mentality's got to break. You got to come out of
You
that.
gotta enjoy it.
Yeah, like you have to be more open to yourself.
But
in this.
I mean, I'm similar in a way. I've gotten into things really easily. You've seen it.
Mhm.
Fallen out of it, got back into it, got in something else,
Yeah.
and fallen out of it. But then eventually you're just like, once you, because I was in a way the same way. Like, I don't know, keep repeating myself, but
Okay.
constantly wanting to grow a following. That kind of burns you out and makes you less passionate, honestly.
So
And-
the big thing is you have to love it for others to love it.
Yeah.
You can't
That's why
have others love it and you don't love it.
I think you love playing football. You're just doing it for you. You're not doing it
Yeah,
for a
see.
following. You enjoy
Yeah,
playing
I
football.
enjoy playing it, but
Yeah.
like on my free time when I'm not playing the sport, I want to be doing something else other than like practicing
Practice.
for. Yeah, so I want to be.
You're just trying to figure
DJ
out
again,
what
yeah.
you like. I mean, yeah, I mean,
Yeah,
you
but,
still
I
like
mean-
it, but like, I just think going into it not wanting a following, but just like
forget
it-
that part of it.
yeah,
As,
just forget
what
the
our
following part of it.
advice is, do not take it as
Do
a
not-
you need a
okay.
crowd to make you
Yeah.
do it.
You don't.
You don't. You could do this for yourself. You know how many hours in my life
Probably tons and tons of
I
hours.
spent in my room practicing DJing as a young kid? I don't even know how many years. I started in 7th grade and I didn't stop till I'm 40 something.
So like a specific
Yeah,
example.
like you have
would-
to stop, but I mean, at one time, you're just like, I kind of know what I want to do with it. I can play with it. But in the beginning, when you're actually trying to master a scratch or master a mix, what songs you want to put together, hours. But I didn't do it for anybody else. Now, when I had to show it off, I was pretty well prepared,
Yeah.
Yeah.
and it kind of felt good. That's when you show up in these places and you feel. Believe me, I felt it was you know what it was? My crowds were quinceañeras. So you're talking,
Yeah.
I'm 15 years old and the quinceañera's 15 years old. And that girl's looking at me on the stage.
All the pressure's on
Yeah.
you.
No, it's like, I'm a superstar. Everybody wants to hang out with the
Everyone's
DJ.
looking at
dude.
you.
You can
Yeah.
ask your tia.
Everybody's
I want to be with the DJ.
I'm with the DJ.
I'm with the DJ. You ask her that. You want to go into the club? You got to carry my crates.
It was funny that you say
That's
that.
how it was.
There's this.
That's how they could get into the club. Carry crate.
Carry my USB.
Yeah, USB.
My
yeah.
buddies,
No one
all
even,
of them, all
no
my
one even
friends.
takes their equipment anymore. It's just here's my
Carry my
USB.
USB.
That's
plug
the
it in.
problem. Back then, I had like 15 to 20 milk crates of records that
Yeah.
I would. So I would hand over to my buddies that we know.
Yeah.
They would take them to get into the party with me, and they would be in basically my back help. My help.
Yeah.
So I want to talk about. I remember you telling me you got your Technics stolen.
Yes. Oh, that was the worst day of my life.
Yeah.
Ugh.
And
I
this,
can
how old were
imagine.
you when this happened?
You were already born.
Okay.
See, I had a dream to be that.
Yeah.
Okay. But it wasn't in my cards. Did I let go of that dream? Meh. Yes. I let go of that dream because I didn't have that. I couldn't see myself doing that with what I was going through in my own life. So I would DJ gigs and do my normal routines around San Diego, and just to make ends meet and things like that, make extra cash. I had kids, you know. I'm a young, I'm maybe 19, 20 years old when he's 2 years old, So just imagine that, right? I was 17 when I had Jesse. He was a year and a half later, so I'm 19 with 2 kids. I can't even gig in nightclubs yet, but I was. And I would do whatever I can to make. I would DJ multiple times a week back in the days. It was the thing, it was what happened back then.
Right.
So also, I even got into making music for rappers and stuff back in the early 90s, making my own beats. So I had bought myself a nice, back then there were sequencers back in the day.
Yeah.
Which is what it's basically I only had maybe
Is it an 8-track or
no,
no?
they're actually 1.4 megabyte storage of samples.
That's
So the floppy disk, the little 3.5 disc, was the sampling. So if I wanted to sample a loop, it would take me, and I would drink the quality down depending on how I had to do it. You had to edit it, which is what we now know with
Yeah.
Ableton and all these other tools have generated
that built-in
an
sequencers.
unlimited frequency sampling range
Yeah.
that we didn't have in the 90s or late 80s. So I was making hip hop beats for buddies around the town. We did shows. I was the DJ. Just imagine just some hip hop rappers back in the early 90s. And we were just playing the clubs here in San Diego. And we would practice. And my DJ system was we would practice at my buddy's garage. So we were going to do a show, and I had my turntables and a couple of crates of records, and we're practicing, and it started raining. And normally I take all my stuff. I had an El Camino, and that El Camino is where I store all my speakers and my turntables, and I take it back to where back home.
Yeah.
Then so I at this point we were like, I can't take my turntables out in the rain. It was pouring. So I left them in the garage, locked it up. It was an apartment complex. The next morning I came to pick them up and the garage was busted. They were gone. My coffin that I had my turntables in, me and my brother, or your Theo, Pepe, we made this custom sick. I mean,
that's why, like, how long and how much, I guess,
so
did it take you to build it to where
that was like my best sound system. Brand new everything, brand new turntables, brand new mixer. I mean, back then you had CD was brand new. Like the quality of CD was like so new that the decks were like $1,000 just to play, to get a right CD deck. So they took that. My amps were all built into this cabinet. I had I was a Carvin guy, so I had Carvin speakers and amps.
Yeah.
But they didn't have all that there. It was just the turntables and maybe one speaker. But they didn't take the speaker. So the turntables, I accumulated those after, I don't know, 3 years of DJing every day. Because they were expensive for a young kid. Yeah. And I had to buy records. I didn't make a lot of money. I remember when I first started, before you were born, I worked at a avocado packing place with George Sostalo. He was my buddy there. Mm-hmm. And he's the one that, we kind of skipped where I got my first turntables, but my ones that I got stolen were my latest and greatest 1200s. And they were gone. It crushed me. I could not bring it back. They were my money makers. I don't think I ever had an opportunity to buy turntables until, God, it had to be early 2000s when I bought.
How many years was after that?
Maybe years, because maybe 2005 when I actually bought them back. I found them on Craigslist, like a set that I could, that I wanted, which is the ones we have now. Mm-hmm. But yeah, it's just it happens. You lose stuff, and you can. You get crushed.
Who did it, or it
was someone in the apartment complex that had some turntables. There's not much you could do. They threw my coffin in the trash can. Nobody could find them. The cops are not going to do anything with it. Yeah. They're probably spinning somewhere. Somebody's got some. They were brand new.
Yeah.
And I took care of everything. So it was.
Because they're still not cheap now. No. They hold their value. Even
the original 1200s are not. The ones that I have. The ones that I had before were even older. That's like 70s generation.
Yeah.
They're probably even more. But they're so heavy duty, last forever. It's kind of like what we know with Pioneer has made, and these new products that they've made.
If it ever goes out, you just recalibrate it just to make them.
And you learn how to do that nowadays, and we can figure that out. So,
and I think it's good to have that experience of DJing with vinyl. Mm-hmm. I think there's a lot of people who just. It's understandable because everyone just gets into just the controllers, because press sync, you're good to go, which I don't complain about people using sync, because if it just makes everything sound cool, it sounds cool. But you should also experience to know how to do it by ear. And you told me to do I needed, regardless, you got to learn how to mix actual vinyl to just make sure you're actually great at it.
Yeah. And DJing. Turntables, as you said, if they're not calibrated, they're not always on time. So
you're constantly
your pitch is always in your fingers. So you adjust it. And
okay, that gives me more
confidence. That was what I think practiced the most, because I was more of a quick mix guy. I didn't like playing music fully. I probably
that's my mentality.
I don't like
letting a song play for too long. I don't
think because it's constant. I think these guys, if they're playing their own personal songs, I get it.
Yeah.
Because they made it and they want to let it all out. But if there's a guy like myself that I'm playing their music, a minute each one.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
You know,
Yep.
so you can go through 60 songs,
Yeah.
50 to 60 songs
Yeah.
in 1 hour and have a nice playlist. And,
Yeah.
and if you can make them all work,
Right.
they all become unique.
Yeah.
Every mix is unique than anybody else's.
So with, I guess, the DJs that you grew up with,
Yeah.
that got you inspired.
So what actually got me into back in the late 80s, freestyle was like big.
yeah.
The clubs were playing, you know, Trinier, Debbie Deb,
Mm-hmm.
you know, you play those songs anywhere now, that's your party.
Yep.
It's
Especially the
literally like-
old school, the people that know that they want a house party or a party outside and you
You're
know,
always
they're
playing.
home. These are the songs that keep you going.
Like like the wedding we did. We were just playing
Oh,
freestyle,
yeah.
Stevie B.
It was
like,
so fun too.
because honestly, it's
It was
just like when you
perfect.
want to do those kind of parties, that's kind of like the only time that they listen to it in
Yeah.
that setting.
Yes.
Exactly.
So
Because
they're gonna wanna
if you
hear it.
ever grew up in those times, you went to a club to dance that.
yeah,
You didn't go to a stadium to do a crowd and just pump your fist.
Right.
yeah,
You actually
Crowd of
had to
80,000
have the
people.
guts to go ask a girl to dance with you.
Right.
yeah.
Not rub against her and hump her leg in the back when you don't know who's doing it.
yeah,
know?
Gabe. Just kidding.
You know, and which reminds me of what's his name? Manikowski, the comedian.
Which one? Oh,
Sebastian.
Sebastian Manic.
He has a good
Maniscalco?
fit on there. You know,
Oh,
he
man.
does that when you go clubbing. You know, and he nails it. I won't even say it, just go look at it.
Yeah.
But he nails that part. You know, just that you had to have the guts to go dancing.
Mm-hmm.
So playing those music, you had to play it. You mixed it. You didn't have a tech. You had to be the guy make the music go.
yeah.
So who inspired me DJing back in the days? You know, I'm in the generation of Bad Boy Bill, Humpty
Yep.
Vision.
Yeah.
They're the same age as me.
Which is why when we went to EDC the last
We
time, which was
had to
2018,
see Bad Boy.
we saw
Bill.
Bad Boy Bill because
It
we
was
know
like
this is.
it was just the one
You
that
grew
we
up with
said,
him?
oh,
Yeah.
we have to go to Bad Boy.
Those are
Bill.
the
And he was
guys
great.
that we would go see
And it
in
was just
Hollywood.
at a little
and play.
stage too. They're at a big festival though, so I mean, it's totally.
They were
different
the
from-
big, I think probably
Yeah.
one of the biggest
Oh yeah.
producers
Yeah.
of music, of, you know, underground house,
Eat, Sleep, Rave, Repeat.
Chicago, like
Chicago and LA,
underground
you know,
construction
together.
kind of.
Underground construction was pretty much that era. If you could find underground construction records, that was your house music,
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
That
you
was the
have a
intro of
lot of
house.
them,
you know.
which is what I'm like.
I remember there was a phase in the 80s of acid house.
Acid House.
And it was
yes.
very
Yes.
fast and groovy, and I have records of it, not much, maybe half a crate. I would go and buy out in LA, Norwalk Records a lot. We would go when we get a chance. Me and George every Friday, and I think we kind of bounce back a lot here, but every Friday from our job we get paid, and I think I had maybe $100. I was probably 14 years old. I take those $100 and buy records. So every single record there took me that many years to collect because I would pay $5 for a record, $5 for a record, $10 for a record. I'd go and choose. So I needed the latest. And you know what? I have if you look at my collection, it goes from Spanish to R&B to hip hop to house to, you know, there's not like I'm this guy.
Yeah.
Right? I was like, can you play this? Well, now, yeah.
Yeah, you got.
But
everything.
like back then, yeah, I got that. And for me, you knew your records. My crates would be lined up,
you know where to.
and I knew.
grab from
And
'em.
Josh and John and they, you know, those guys would be my backups. Like hand me you know, Two
Yeah.
Live Crew or something, you know, or you know, something like that to throw on. You know, hey, let's put that one on. Let's go right now.
It's kind of funny because you know how you were doing it, but we are learning that way when we're doing the weddings and stuff like.
It makes me
All
laugh
right.
because you just said it like someone's handing you vinyls and stuff like that. But me and him,
He's
I'm
over
just
here
like, hey,
put this
put
on.
this on.
Yeah.
And
Right.
Jasmine's on the other side. Hey, put this on.
Yeah.
And we're just, and it's
But that's-
working,
you
and
know what,
it's
that
just
mindset.
working.
That's the team.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's how you create that energy.
Right.
Because if you're thinking it when it comes out, and especially like if
Few
you
other
get it
people are
in there
thinking.
right,
Oh yeah.
it comes out even stronger. Like how you see it blow up in songs, right? With the light shows and
Right.
everything, you get that drop, you get that that mix that's clean. Oh, I didn't even know that was coming.
It
And
hypes everyone.
oh
up.
yeah, it's just so cool. It's one of the best feelings to keep people moving.
Oh yeah, for
But
sure.
with when you brought up like Bad Boy Bill and the underground construction, Gabe, your dad was a rebel, like the
Oh, big
kind of I guess
Yeah.
the nowadays raver.
Yeah.
But he was like into like
that.
Like hard house, like dump.
And you probably, I don't know if you even know that.
Do you know that?
No,
Yeah, of course he does
never.
that.
See,
But he like I mean that's how we got into it because everyone DJing. Your dad's listening to hard house. My mom's listening to trance.
yeah.
Yeah.
But I remember he used to make mixes of just all the volume one underground construction. It's just like dom dom dom, and I was like, and then
fast beat,
eventually,
yeah.
and eventually I would find the record from your collection,
Yeah.
and but yeah, he was. I know there's a few videos of him.
Oh, yeah.
Back then, like doing his crazy.
Oh yeah, the
rebel
dancing
dances.
back in the day.
Oh, yeah.
All
Yeah.
of us dance. I used to be like a badass dancer in the dance.
Yeah,
Honestly,
Me and Bubba were in a
we,
shuffle crew.
you know, like your shuffling was our running man. That was
Yeah.
our thing. And we were good. Me and your Theo Chava, we were in it. Yeah.
I remember when that dance was so freaking popular.
Oh,
The
yeah.
shuffling
shuffle,
shuffling.
that was so
Yeah,
popular.
Jimmy was like the biggest shuffler.
Yeah.
I was.
I know the
Oh,
stomping
yeah,
you guys would
we
do.
were when we went to Disneyland when
Disneyland.
they had electronica,
Uh-huh.
we had the shuffling crew. Then we go every weekend.
I got recruited there.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah.
When they had the club.
Yeah, the little
Club
club
Disney.
Disney.
right?
I just started Well,
Or
Bubba.
California Adventure.
So
yeah.
Bub would make me. I mean, cause I've always been that person. I still am, but
Yeah.
like like nah, I don't want to do like I'm
And
not.
then, but you know you want to.
It's
Keep on
just
begging
it's
me.
just like like I don't like to be like on the I don't like to be put on the spot. I guess like
Yeah.
like if I'm gonna do it, I like to like naturally make
Go-
my
yeah,
way and
yeah,
to like go and
yeah.
do it. But like even with like I remember just to kind of expand on that story because we went so many times back when that was the thing. We were at Disneyland almost every weekend for a while.
Yeah.
But like I went with my Theo and Tias from up there,
Mhm.
and I told them I was like, "Oh, you gotta go check out it was Mad Tea
Mad
Party
Tea
at the
Party.
time." I was like, "You gotta go check out Mad Tea Party," and like we watched the band and like DJ and whatever, and like okay, cool, and like we knew everybody.
Oh yeah.
everyone.
We
like,
just
yeah,
knew
we
people. We
there.
just knew people.
That was our instead of the mall, it was Disney.
Yeah, it was Disneyland. So like, and so like, I walked and I swear to you, like, I just remember my Theo and like my cousins just, what is going on? And I was like, oh, like these are just people that I know. And they're like, why? And I just started shuffling and people like start like circling around like they did like and it was just fun. It was just crazy though. But yeah, it was just we all had that little dance.
The phases.
You know,
I was a break dancer.
See, that's what I
I
mean.
used to break in the 80s.
I heard that
I mean,
stuff from my dad.
your
Yeah.
Theo Pepe, badass pop locker. He still does it.
Yeah,
you know?
exactly.
You can tell the guys that do it.
Yeah. for
And
sure.
but yeah, back in the days, you seemed like it was going. It was like a lost thing, and it just kept on going. It's kind of cool.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Kind of cool to see some of the old. I mean, hip hop and all that stuff that we didn't know about in the early '80s from New York and all that. You know, slowly kind of. You know, it's not what we see today. You know,
Right.
from one image to another. It's like, how the heck this guy.
Yeah.
You know, I remember going to Mexico every year, and they were so far outdated on what we were doing that everything was strange.
Yeah.
Like, what's this music, or who is that? You know what I mean? Even the Michael Jacksons wasn't
Right.
that big. I mean, they probably were, but in some of these areas, they didn't know even Michael Jackson. That was like the biggest name in the 80s.
I think that's like with every single kind of music. I guess I do it too with new music. It's like, what is this?
Yeah.
Like, what? I mean, always there's music that I'm sure Gabe listens to. I don't know. I remember you saying you listen to a lot of kind of like
Old,
old
like,
2010s,
2010s, 20
Bruno Mars, and all that stuff.
2000s.
Yeah.
But like just that kind of music that people don't understand. Like my post-hardcore music.
Right.
Why do you like this stuff? You're screaming, and then it's just there's always gonna be people who
Yeah.
don't
I got
understand
into
it.
all
But
that
if you
stuff,
have your
too.
open-minded to all types of art, if you want to say, it's
See,
not
but
just
then that's
music,
what's
it's
cool
all the
too, though.
different
But
things.
when you have that broad, like variety of, what you like, and you just know that. I mean, in music in general, I feel like if you like music, you like music.
Yeah.
Good music is good music. So like you draw from the stuff that you like, and it inspires you
And-
to do your own thing. Because like I can bring up Can You Feel My Heart? The edit that you did.
Oh,
I mean,
Bring
that's
Me
like
the Horizon.
yeah.
but
See, and
mixing
that's what I'm
with
saying. And you
but-
went with electronic stuff from a song that was from your like
Hardcore.
hardcore like
Yeah.
rock. Like,
And I think you
phases. And it
embedded
just
that
is cool that
in-
you can draw from things like that.
Yeah,
Mhm.
in my head as be open minded to every kind of
Everything.
Music.
Oh yeah, I think I said
Everything.
it many times as you were growing up, because
You can learn
because
from,
I saw what you were playing all the time.
Right.
You know, you're playing this, but if you want to kind of get the broader view, you have to have a landscape of an imagination of sound,
yeah.
so you can create more.
Right.
Um, if you don't absorb other cultures and sounds, you're gonna be that same sound, and we hear it in many people too that are just locked into their sound.
Yeah.
We know what artist is playing when you hear that first couple of bars.
Yeah.
It's like, and like, you know, one of my favorite producers is Deadmau5. So, but I like his,
Yeah.
I know his sound
Even just
It's
by his
maybe
kick.
by
Yeah.
just by his kick drums.
Yeah.
Like is that a
Yep.
new Deadmau5 song? Back in the days when maybe it's different now, but
Right.
but back in the days is that sound was so him,
Distinct.
you know,
yeah, it
and,
was just his.
and then you start seeing, you know, their sound. It's like Dioro. He's got that same, you know, he's got a sound.
his new album. was
Yeah,
great.
we were
You
just
know,
talking.
If
he
you haven't
just
heard
came
his
out
new
of
album,
new
it's
album.
so
Maybe not.
good. It's called Oro, so
Okay.
without the beginning of his
Okay.
name, but it's really good.
Yeah.
He did collaborations with Tucanes de Tijuana.
See, so he's
he did
going Latin.
Yeah,
Yeah.
he
See,
went.
See, that's the
yeah.
other thing. That's
Just like Elvis Crespo, right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
he did another one with him. He
Yeah.
did. I
I
mean,
mean,
it's
that was a while
tons.
ago, but
I mean,
he's-
I'm
but they're
into that kind
good.
of music too,
Yeah.
because that's always been a thing that I did for parties is the cumbias, merengue, you
Right.
know, the things, you know, norteñas and stuff that you would play to get people to dance. You had to know. I didn't know who they were, but if they sounded good and if I felt that I could move,
Yeah.
I'm
oh
playing
yeah.
it.
Oh yeah.
And
Yeah.
so my mom would go to TJ and buy me these Éxitos records, which is a mix of artists of the hits.
Yeah.
So she just grabbed me some cumbias, some norteños, blah blah blah, and it'd be the bookies, it'd be the
Right.
you know all the people that I remember hearing live bands on in the 70s
Right.
and 80s. Oh, I have now, you know, I have the records. So now I would always know what to play when people wanted to dance. I didn't know English. I didn't know Spanish that way. I didn't listen to it in my car
Right.
like that.
Just if
But
it
it
sounds like
sounded
you're
good,
gonna move,
I'm going
you're
to play
playing
it.
it.
Right.
You know, and then I'll always remember that this is the record I need to keep up front. You
Yeah.
know, that's what
And
I
I
mean.
think, Gabe, like if you do want to go back into DJing, you know, playing what you feel like, oh, this is gonna make me at least just like I'm gonna vibe with it. You know, just do that. Like, don't
Yeah.
worry about what other people are
No.
really thinking. As long as it makes you feel this is cool. This
Yeah.
is cool. I'm gonna
And
jam to it.
I'm just gonna bring this up from the last podcast that you're on too. You said you had a goal of wanting a DJ for like your school or something.
Yeah.
And you
go
should
and
keep
play.
that. And you should literally, like you said, just stick to you. Do it the way
And
you
it's
want to
so
do it.
different now on how you can prove that.
Right.
Yeah.
Like back in the days, like, hey, I'll throw the party. Like, how do we know you even know how to play? You know? Oh, here's the tape. How do I even know that's you? It was
Check me
tough.
out.
Like, no, now here's my link. You know,
Yeah.
here's my stuff. This
We
is
could
what I do. Here's a
do-
video of me doing it.
We could record
know?
you, do a little
You know?
DJ set.
That
and,
too.
like, yeah.
That's how you get. I want to play here. Oh yeah, he's got, and I got the sound system. I got everything to throw the party. What? Yeah, I have it all. You know, we could throw big
Yeah.
parties with the stuff I have. so
Yeah.
it's not a big deal. One thing that we do is have more equipment than the gigs sometimes. You know,
Yeah.
so
That's why I say
you
we
know,
do
it's
live
just-
streams.
Nah. Live
oh
stream.
yeah,
Just
I mean,
saying.
exactly. So I mean, those are the kind of things that why when you're going into these new products and equipment and
Yeah.
tools, if it's gonna be useful and it's gonna do better for what you know, what we're struggling with right now,
Right.
because sometimes more is not better.
Yeah.
You know, too much equipment could cause too much confusion.
Right.
It makes you
but
overloaded.
n-
It makes you
over-
overthink things because
and maybe that. Oh, did I do the right sound? Is there a better way? You know, and
especially
I've
now
done
it's
that.
endless. There's so
Right.
much stuff you could get. Like obviously, like getting all that stuff. We could have easily done this with just like the stuff we already
Oh,
had.
yeah.
But
Oh yeah, but
but sometimes when you're like, you want to invest in the stuff you're passionate about,
Yeah.
but not expecting profit.
You're not. The reward is that it sounded good. there was a good conversation, and you know what? If it goes into the right place, it'll never be lost.
Yeah.
And before, like, hey, do you have that video? Oh, I hope somebody has that.
Yeah.
No, because that camera's gone, or that
Yeah.
tape has been ruined,
Right.
or I don't know where that stuff's at.
Yeah.
You know, all that stuff's into play. Nowadays, we can put it out there, and it's there for a little while or longer than we think. And you know, generations of history. You know, before we're all gone, there's still some. You can go back to this conversation when we're old and gray. Hey,
Yeah, I
remember that when we were
remember,
talking crap
yeah.
in Arizona?
Yep.
You know,
Yeah.
that's what you want to do.
Yeah,
you
for
see
sure.
it like when you you are doing a lot of football stuff. You have a lot of things you want to talk about with football,
Mhm.
like with what your experience is lately. Because last time you haven't even started yet,
Yeah.
but
now,
now
you
that you're
started.
actually in it,
now I'm almost ready to go in like pads and helmet. And just
Yeah.
start. Yeah.
Oh, so
And-
you haven't even had pads or helmets
No.
yet? Ooh.
I think it was like
Ooh.
some contact, but like no tackling.
Okay.
but now like we could talk about it, and you could like reference back to this and be like, oh, that's how I felt. Could also like motivate you where you're at a certain place, but like now that you actually kind of started, how you've been feeling with like
I mean,
getting into football.
I feel better. It's just they should have had like us wear helmets
You're
during
not wearing
that
helmets
time.
yet?
They should have had us like wear like helmets because catching the ball with no helmet is like terrifying. Because if
Yeah.
you see a bullet coming at you fast at your head,
I feel like
you
that
better
still.
catch it
Do,
quick.
do you
Otherwise,
wear
you'll get.
Do you wear receiver gloves?
Huh?
Do you wear gloves?
Yeah, I wear gloves.
Okay.
Yeah,
Don't-
but
don't worry about it.
And
You
you
got it. You got hands.
and you've seen him,
Yeah.
you
That was the
already
main thing.
seen
It's fine.
a couple games, right?
Yeah. So I've seen it. I mean, there's a lot more practicing on everybody's, because I think what they're doing too is kind of throwing them out there to see where they're at. You know,
Okay.
more than anything. There's no real training because he was just thrown in there. Like the first big thing is I'm going to do the
Iron Man.
Iron Man. How do I train for that? Like normally, and I'm sure the other guys that have been in football know what that is.
Yeah.
But a guy that's just starting off, give him a heads up. You know, it's 10 miles of obstacles and things like that. And
No,
I
I
mean,
see-
but
I
it's
see-
good.
Did you guys? I mean, I only did one season in high school, but did you guys do Hell Week? Did you have a Hell Week?
That's
This
next
week,
week.
right? Yeah.
Next week.
Oh,
Oh,
wow.
okay. So
So-
if you thought Iron Man was hard, then Hell Week's gonna be.
Just wait till tomorrow when it's 110. Just stand outside and it'll feel like
No, yeah, no. I mean, just
said-
like I
I
said, just
said-
from personal experience, like Hell Week is just one of those things that's like, I mean, think about it like boot camp, but for football. Like it's just,
Yeah.
they grind you down, like, and they're gonna make sure you're ready. So I mean,
The
be
pressure's
ready
gonna
to,
be
sur-
on.
yeah,
Ex-
just
but,
be
like,
ready
we're
to
talking
survive
about
that, because
being-
it's fun. Don't get me wrong, like it's gonna be tough, and you're gonna be like, dude, I'm done. I don't want to do this right now. But at the end of the day, you're gonna be like,
you did.
that was pretty
Yeah.
cool. Like
But-
that was a lot of fun.
If you can
Everything
challenge
about
yourself, yeah.
Yeah,
being passionate, and I mean, you already seem really
yeah,
passionate
exactly.
about
That's what I'm saying.
So as long
yeah.
as you're
got
gonna
it.
make it through it because you love what you're doing with football.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know, and you will, if you're hungry for it, you have the going back to the passion, and don't get so caught up with you knowing everything. They're gonna show you some stuff.
Oh yeah.
But at least be open to that knowledge coming in. You know, be very open to criticism.
Yeah.
I don't know if this is
Um,
a thing now, but it was kind of when I was in school. I don't know. I mean, I don't know
What's
if you
that?
did. I don't know if you did sports or
No,
anything.
didn't
Oh,
have
okay.
money
See,
for
that's
that.
what I'm saying. So I mean, sometimes coaches can be on you. Don't take it personally.
Yeah.
That's one of the biggest things in sports. There's a lot of kids that will get like that one
Discouraged
tough
and-
day from their coach that's just trying to show them that they're there for a reason and that they want to, you know, do what they're doing, but they kind of just end up going, I don't want to do this anymore. Don't
Well,
do that.
that's exactly. Don't get
Don't
when
get
they pull you
discouraged.
aside and say you did.
Yeah.
You go. What should ask questions?
Yeah,
'Cause
exactly.
You know what? I was
Just learn
thinking
from
this.
it.
If you don't say nothing, you go, okay. What did you get out of it?
Yeah.
Yeah, I remember when I was doing plays for the 7-on-7s, I got so pissed when I messed up a play. I was like, damn it, man. I want to like do that again, like repeat what I just did so I know what to do next time and get it done properly.
Yeah.
But I think it was like the last game for 7-ons for JV where I actually got things down perfectly. Like I
Yeah.
got everything down like last second. I was like, why is this happening now? Why isn't this happening like right on the first day of 7-on-7s? But
But but you learn from those other plays
yeah,
that this one, that's the whole idea. You got more practice in. So now that you get more practice, you're gonna get a little bit more success.
Practice makes perfect.
Yeah, and the
Honestly.
more you, if the passion is there, and you love it, and you care for it, and you want to, you know, be a part of it, really, you're gonna absorb a lot. You're gonna absorb the criticisms, the yelling, the cheering, your teammates backing you up,
Yeah.
depending on asking questions on your buddies. You know, hey man, I'm having, whatever, because that's who you're working with. You are a team, so you might as well get involved with that team.
I always feel like honestly, no question should be a stupid question. Like
Yeah, for sure.
no one should you know, be like, why would you ask that? Like everything should be taken into consideration of like what you want to improve for yourself.
I'm
Yeah.
gonna throw something at you. I'm not putting myself down because I still think I did great. No, I'm just kidding. But my biggest mistake playing football, and I'll be honest. I told you guys in that first podcast, like I wasn't starting. I wasn't doing any of that. I was just
Sitting in the,
I was there. You
You were
know,
there.
like I was just there. I did great in practices. I showed off a lot in practice because I was pretty decent. But I just kind of messed up being that. If you're not getting approached by a coach specifically, because normally I don't know how it's gonna work for you. Like obviously every school's different. So if there's a rotation or anything, don't wait to be asked to come in. Stand next to your coach and be like,
Put me in coach.
like, hey, I'm right here. You know, like I'm ready
because they may
when
not
you
notice
need me. Yeah, exactly. Because there's gonna be a lot of people gunning for your position. That's just facts. And that's I was a wide receiver too, and I was in a rotation of like 7-8 guys. So little
One-
don't
Jimmy over
hide
here
under the
was
You
radar.
see
you know,
how the guys that were catching, they
Yeah.
always
Yeah.
throw it at them. Why? Because they're standing out.
right.
You got to go out there and stand out,
Yeah,
and they're the ones that they're going to remember.
exactly.
It's all of us have short-term memory, especially in that time. Rush. Send
Just
him
always
in. He's
just
got-
always be ready to go.
Yeah.
Like if you're really wanting to, and I know you are. I see how passionate you are right now. So like just always be ready. If your coach is looking around looking for and he's waiting for a receiver to just be like, hey man, like I'm right here.
I'm right
Yeah,
here.
but
I
the
can take a
thing
play
is-
right here.
The
Like
thing is, I'm not a receiver though. I'm on the defensive.
oh, you're on
side.
defensive
Yeah,
side. Well,
he's
okay,
on
well then that's
So-
fine too. I mean
Just-
opposite side of the ball doing the same
Yeah.
thing. You're defending the other guy, but it's kind of if you're not starting, at least be there and be like, I'm right here. Like when
I think
when I'm
the
ready to go
main
in.
big thing is getting out of your shell.
Yeah,
Yeah.
for sure.
If you're always kind of like, I don't know if I should approach, you're
That
not
was
out
me.
there. You know, it's
Yeah.
very.
That
You
was
know what?
me,
It's not
big
easy
time.
to become so easy.
Extroverted and everything.
Yeah, no,
Yeah,
for
you
sure.
are. It's not
I've
easy.
been very to myself for
That's how I was in
past
school.
my early 20s. And then honestly, there's some regret
sports
of
more.
wanting just being very timid and just wondering what people think. It could hold you back, honestly.
That was always my biggest problem, was wondering what people thought.
yeah.
Yeah.
See, I don't.
Yeah.
I mean,
That's
I've grown
why
out of it
it's-
now, and
I
it took
mean,
it took
Since
time.
you-
But
but that's what I always told them. I
you
go,
know.
the DJ got me out of that shell.
And I think that's what did it for
Approaching,
Yeah.
us and
being
doing this.
in front of crowds, not I was that see that started very young, 13, 14 years old, and now I'm having to speak Spanish
Mhm.
and introduce the wedding party,
Right.
Yeah.
like that's how it's coming out, but it's in front of hundreds of people, but that's what happens.
Yeah.
But practice, and then it becomes that
Just-
eventually it becomes a part of you.
Just kind of branch off of that, the
Yeah.
wedding that we did. He was just saying, he's just
I
like,
didn't even think- Food's ready.
and I was like,
But oh yeah, so
Oh, I
one
remember
time
that.
the
He
food was
he
ready,
was losing
and I was
it.
announcing it, but I was
I think I
under the
was
table
gone.
as I was announcing it, like the food's ready, and then I was
I'm
like, Jimmy, you're the MC now.
I'm so opposite.
heard
I
it.
grabbed the mic and I'm comfortable.
But
I'm,
I
I'm
heard it from
good.
someone,
but
you
that
were
took some
losing it.
time, right?
Oh yeah, it took
And
time
I
for
think
sure.
that's also who your mom is very
yeah.
outgoing that way.
But what
And I think she showed you how, even as a young kid, singing
right.
with her.
And that's what I'm
I
saying.
think
What's
that's where it
funny is
comes.
that where I got comfortable being out in public and talking on a microphone and doing
Yeah.
this and that, it was actually karaoke with my mom
There it is.
because she was, everybody
Yeah.
knows my mom loves to sing. She
Yeah.
does it almost
Everywhere.
every party that
Yeah.
has karaoke
Yeah.
or a microphone. And a lot of people ask her to go and sing. She's
Mhm.
just someone that people
Just does it.
like
And she
to
sings
hear sing.
good,
Yeah,
come on.
people like to hear her sing.
Yeah.
And like, I mean, in the family and everything. I mean, even places where we go and do karaoke.
I
I mean,
hear it.
we've
I
gone
hear
to
it too.
Lawrence Welk and with like, I'm talking old people, like not to be that person, but I mean old people. And we're there in the community at Lawrence Welk with,
doing
and
your
I'm
thing.
singing karaoke, my mom's singing karaoke, and it's just one of those things you just kind of forget about
Yeah.
like a lot of stuff when you're just up there.
I know.
And you see, and like you
Hi,
said,
daughter.
and it's kind of the same draw that you said with
Peace.
kind of the same draw that you said with making people move with records and
Yeah.
stuff like that. I'm just looking out and I'm
If somebody's
singing some songs and they're
entertained,
entertained and they're having fun. And it's just
key.
all right, cool. Like
That's
I'm having a
awesome.
good time.
But
It's-
that's
it's
like,
it is what it is. But yeah, just drawing back to the wedding, it was just funny. He was like, "Yeah, you can do this." So
Yeah.
I'm like, "All right,
It's
cool."
hard. It's not an easy task to open up to just even a few people.
Yeah,
yeah,
no,
this
it's
is the
not.
biggest thing
Yeah.
for me, at least.
Oh,
It's
yeah.
also kind of like I guess,
Public speaking training.
yeah,
Yeah.
It's
And
pretty much what
like an
this is.
exercise for me to be able to like be comfortable to just, all right, I'm talking and putting it out to whoever. Like,
Yeah.
I don't know who's listening, but
won't-
regardless, it's
Hey,
fun.
whoever's listening, hopefully you enjoy.
Yeah,
And,
And
we
on that-
appreciate you listening.
yeah. And on that note, I'm pretty sure
Hit
you hear-
subscribe.
You hear the
You hear splashes from the pool. You've seen
Where's the
lightning
button?
in the
Where's
sky
the icon?
here
Yeah.
in Arizona. You've
Like,
seen
subscribe.
Subscribe.
bunch of
Hit
stuff.
subscribe.
We just wanted to do it just to, we've been wanting you to be on it for
Yeah,
a
for
while.
sure.
But obviously you're gonna be on more, just like Gabe, second time. But we're gonna,
No, we'll
Th-
continue
this-
it on.
yeah. And
There's so
you-
many topics that can
Oh,
come
man.
across these things. As
Yeah.
you can see today, it goes on from all
we-
different types.
We're
of
over here.
topics.
It's gonna be 20, 30 minutes. There's already an hour 15.
hour and
minutes.
15. So,
So this, it's nice because it's, not burning right now.
Nope.
But
rain stopped.
you
Got a
know,
little bit of lightning.
maybe
and,
if we have time, we'll do another one.
Yeah,
while
I
we're
mean,
out
this
here.
is-
Just-
yeah, tomorrow. I mean, after the baby shower. I
too.
mean, we're here to celebrate the baby
Yep.
shower and
We'll
a
just
baby rain.
We'll just baby rain. Yeah. So my sister, your granddaughter's name is gonna be
Rain,
Rain
Azucena.
Azucena. But that's why we're
Yeah,
here
that's
for
why we're
the-
here. If we didn't bring that up earlier,
I think we did.
We did
I think we
a
did.
I
little
think
bit.
we
No,
did. And I think we
I'm
did 2
just-
intros also, but
Yeah,
it works out.
it is what it is. But hope you guys enjoy this episode.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Peace.
This was Start the
Yeah, it was a
Record.
good time.
yeah.
Great time.
Appreciate
Good show.
Gabe, my dad, DJ Vic.
Yeah.
Co-host Jaime,
They used to call me DJ Blues.
DJ Blues,
And why would you think that?
because you wear blue a lot.
No, I do. I like blue, but
Your truck was blue.
I would. My buddies would say you give the blues to all the other DJs.
Oh, my
Oh.
goodness.
that was what they used to say. DJ Blues.
I
Dude.
think
You
we
give
should.
all the- yeah.
Cheers.
Then you
Salud.
put the applause on. it.
Cheers. Cheers. Cheers to end the podcast, bud. With some applause. Cheers. Cheers. To another showdown. To being out in Arizona.
Where's your
Till
soda?
next time, everybody. Like they said,
Have a
like,
good night.
share, subscribe.
Mhm.
Peace.
Oh, dang. Longer than I thought.
That was good.